You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, despite a fierce fourth quarter rally as the Sacramento Kings tried to come back from 21 points down, but the gritty Miami Heat shorthanded were able to hold off the Sacramento Kings as the Kings cannot beat the Heat as they got swept in the regular season by Miami, and we got a lot to break down right here on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'Em Know Nation. You already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. Your Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Sacramento Kings post-game reaction podcast. I'm your host, Scarlett Weisberg. And despite the fact that I am really disappointed in even recording this program for you today, I truly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to today's program. You can find Let 'Em Know Kings United, which is 100% completely free and available on your favorite podcast app like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, all that good stuff. And you can also find this show on my YouTube channel, NJHawk40. If you are watching this show on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button on the video, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a nice comment down below. It would help me a ton. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you can please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. It is an amazing way to support the podcast, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen of Let 'Em Know Nation, I'm going to keep it simple, I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to keep it sweet, and I'm going to keep it to the point. I am stunned. I am truly stunned as to what I am about to talk about. The Sacramento Kings lost another predictable trap game to the Miami Heat, 121 to 110. I do not understand, and I do not get it. No Tyler Hero. He was out of this game due to hyperextension of his left knee. No Terry Rozier, who's been dealing with injury. No Jimmy Butler. He got suspended for one game due to the brawl in New Orleans. No Thomas Bryant. He also got suspended. No Nikola Jovic. He also got suspended. And you go out there and you lose another trap game where the Miami Heat were shorthanded coming in and you took them lightly? You took them lightly? How pathetic. How pathetic were the Sacramento Kings were last night. I don't give a damn about the Sacramento Kings going on a big run in the fourth quarter where Keegan Murray at least tried to show some effort. He at least tried to keep the Sacramento Kings in it. Domantas Sabonis, he was doing his thing. He was doing his thing with another triple-double. I mean, it's almost automatic at this point. But I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Domantas Sabonis got outplayed by Bam Adebayo. 28 points. 28 points for Bam Adebayo. He was outworking Domantas Sabonis in the post all night long. You cannot forget Jaime Jaquez Jr., who I respect as a player, and the Miami Heat got the steal of the NBA draft months ago when they drafted this guy. This guy is perfect for the Heat culture that Miami is building and continuing to build. They've actually built Heat culture since '95. I'm going to talk about culture in just a second, but he added 26 points. Caleb Martin scored 16 points, including the dunk that made the Sacramento fan base walk out of the Golden One Center in disappointment. And if I was watching the Sacramento Kings feed, I would have done the exact same thing, because I am absolutely disgusted with the Sacramento Kings right now. I am embarrassed, disgusted, and I cannot be trusted. And I don't know why this trend, this is no longer a concern. This is a trend that keeps on happening with the Sacramento Kings, and I don't get it. I don't get how, against teams that are equally good, like Minnesota, the Clippers, Denver Nuggets, Cleveland Cavaliers to a certain extent, Boston Celtics, the Kings come out fighting. They fought as if this is a big game. But while teams that are trap games, like the Detroit Pistons, like the Washington Wizards, and Houston, both games against Houston, both games against New Orleans, even though New Orleans is a matchup nightmare for Sacramento, and teams that are shorthanded, like the Miami Heat, for example, they come out flat. The Kings don't learn. We don't learn how to play a complete 48 minutes against teams that are either full strength or shorthanded. You still got to play a complete 48. At Sacramento, you failed to learn that. You failed to understand what it means to play a 48-minute game. Now, before I even get into it, I need to give the kudos to Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, and the entire Miami Heat organization, because that organization has the culture and the standard that the Sacramento Kings wish that they could have, but right now they don't. And they will never build that standard under Mike Brown. I'm sorry, but Mike Brown got completely outcoached and outworked by Eric Spoelstra in this game. Eric Spoelstra put up another masterclass. I do not know why this man has never won Coach of the Year in his years in the Miami Heat. He could have won Coach of the Year, I could be wrong, but Eric Spoelstra coached as if he's winning the Coach of the Year tonight. The Miami Heat did an amazing job in this game, switching up defensively. They were playing man-to-man. They were doing some full court pressure. They were doing their vintage 2-3 zone, and it works to a T. Offensively, the Miami Heat did an amazing job of running some pick and roll screening action. And Mike Brown, this is where you got completely outcoached and you got out hustled. Do the Sacramento Kings go over icing and hedging ball screens? Domantas Sabonis, you were playing stupid, idiotic drop coverage on defense every single time down the floor. You couldn't ice the screen? Huh? You couldn't hedge? You couldn't push any Miami Heat player out? You couldn't force Bam Adebayo to roll with a backside help defenders all night? This is embarrassing, bro. This is embarrassing. No wonder why I'm covering Heat culture the rest of the season. Because or next season, when I pull up, let them know Mavs at the 305. Because Miami at least knows that they've had enough. And this is why Eric Spoelstra gets a whole lot of credit here. The Miami Heat were completely shorthanded. No Rozier, no Jimmy Butler, no Thomas Bryant, no Tyler Hero of all, just to name a few. But they were able to step up as a complete team effort. Jaime Jaquez said this: when you're missing a guy like that, speaking of Jimmy Butler, everybody has to step up. He's such a big part of our team, and missing him is something that we obviously feel. But no matter, we still got to play the game. Guys have to step up, and we want to do it for those guys. De'Aaron Fox said about the Heat, they came here and they played well on both ends. We have to be better. I can't turn the ball over like I did, but it's not like they didn't come in here and make tough shots. Keegan Murray finished with 28 points. De'Aaron Fox, 27 for Sacramento. But once again, the Sacramento Kings disrespected the game. Disrespected the game as a whole. You have a masterful win, a huge win, mind you, the other night against the LA Clippers on the first night of a back-to-back. You had a golden opportunity to take advantage, build off whatever kind of momentum you had. But guess what? You didn't come out ready to play. You got out-coached by Eric Spoelstra. You got a taste of Heat culture, and guess what happens? The Miami Heat swept y'all in the regular season, and now you move from 5th place in the West to 7th. You went from the playoffs to the play-in an instant. I just can't with this team anymore. I really can't. I really can't with the Sacramento Kings. The Kings are never going to learn. The Kings are trying to establish a culture, establish a standard. But guess what? The Sacramento Kings are not going to get there because they don't learn. They don't learn how to play a complete 48 minutes. The key absences led to Miami's 30th different starting lineup in the 57th game of the season. But that didn't derail with the Miami Heat. And not to mention, Josh Richardson with a right shoulder injury. He was out. Orlando Robinson, back spasms. They were out. But that didn't derail the Heat. The Heat might have bended, but they didn't break. They didn't break because they got plenty of contributions like players like Hayward Highsmith, who scored all of his 15 points in the first half. DeLon Wright, who was in the starting lineup for Tyler Hero, he stepped up. He got 13 points in his Miami Heat debut. And the Heat at one point had a 21-point lead. They outscored the Sacramento Kings 36-19 in the third quarter. If that doesn't tell you that is the biggest difference in this game, I don't know what the hell is. The Heat withstood a 20-4 run by Sacramento, spanning the first quarter break to take a 65-62 halftime lead and just built from there. And by the way, Kevin freaking Love. This man looked like the Cleveland and Minnesota rookie year Kevin Love. This man was getting whatever the heck he wanted out there because Sacramento did not know how to defend him. He provided a big spark for the bench. Big spark off the bench. Nearly a 20-point game for Kevin Love. That is unbelievable, and I am so happy for Kevin Love. He really needed a breakout game, and that is exactly what he got. Eric Spoelstra said he just allowed us to go kind of retro Kevin Love, where we were just running our offense through him. He's so clever, physical, smart. For short stretches, he's every bit as good as he was when you saw that tonight. Eric Spoelstra also said about the Miami Heat closing out this game. He said, that's what this group is about. It's really become so much less about anything in the huddle or coaching. Just use your competitive spirit and figure out how to win the game. All credit to the Miami Heat. All credit to Eric Spoelstra. That team is going to go places. Maybe another NBA Finals, given how well coached Eric Spoelstra is. As for the Sacramento Kings, you do not learn. You do not understand how to play a complete 48 minutes. You're going to step up against Denver and Minnesota, but you're going to fall back against shorthanded teams. You're going to fall back against teams well below your standings, like the Chicago Bulls, for example. I dare you to take the Chicago Bulls lightly. Watch what happens, because the Chicago Bulls right now are continuing to improve because they're focusing on the future. You know, Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu, those guys are absolute studs. But it's not about the Bulls right now. It's about the Sacramento Kings and their inability to play a complete game. I don't get it. Against teams that are level to your competition, you rise up. Against teams that are below or shorthanded, you fall back. And I don't get it. I don't get it. You need a mentality change. That's it. That's it. Sacramento, you need to get a better mentality. I cannot cover you guys the way that you played. Absolutely embarrassing. 53% for the field for Sacramento, 40% from three. They were shooting the ball well, but again, they didn't have the mentality required to win this game. The rebounds, 41-39 in favor of Sacramento. The assist 30-27 Sacramento. Steals, 12-10 Heat. Blocks, 5-3 Kings. 15 turnovers for Sacramento. That is not good enough. The points in the paint, 60-50 in favor of Miami. The fast break points were 14-5 in favor of Sacramento. Bam Adebayo was outworking Domantas Sabonis like nobody's business. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block, 11 of 18 for the field. Jaime Jaquez Jr., I love him as a player, and when the NBA draft happened, I love that he picked this guy up. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 12 of 17 for the field. He is a straight-up baller. Duncan Robinson was limited to only 4 points, but he contributed in another big way with 11 assists, grabbing a couple of boards. DeLon Wright, in his Heat debut, scored 13 points with 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, and a couple of rebounds. Kevin Love looked like his vintage self off the bench. 19 points, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 rebounds, and an assist. Really good game for Kevin Love. Domantas Sabonis, you can't say anything about Domas. He's always been Mr. Consistent. He should have been the team captain of Sacramento. 14 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists, another tripped up for him, but what else is new? Keegan Murray, I love the fact that he was aggressive in the fourth quarter, sparking that run. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 6 of 7 for three-point range. He was feeling it from deep. De'Aaron Fox, 27 points, shooting 13 of 24 from the field with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and he also got a block. But again, it's not about the fact that you got dominated in the fourth quarter. It's the fact that Sacramento does not have the mentality required in order to win games like this. You want to disrespect the game. You want to disrespect the fact that the Miami Heat came in here shorthanded and you took them lightly. You messed around and you found out the hard way. All credit to the Miami Heat, though. All credit to Eric Spoelstra. All credit to Pat Riley. And all credit to Heat culture, because the Miami Heat kept the main thing, and the Miami Heat showed the Sacramento Kings the type of culture that is required in order to win games like this. You want to know why that the Miami Heat call themselves the hardest working, best conditioned, toughest, unselfish team in the NBA, beyond other things? That's why right there. Sacramento, you need a better mentality and learn how to play a complete 48 minutes. But you're not going to do that because you showed us all year long that you are not the Sacramento Kings. You are the Sacramento Kings, and you are absolutely predictable. Change your mentality. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on your favorite podcast app like Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, all that good stuff. And on YouTube, if you are watching this on my NJHawk40 YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Leave a nice comment down below. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you could please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review. I am your host, Skylar Weisberg. I appreciate you all tuning in. I don't mean to vent like this, but Sacramento has disappointed me all year long, and has probably disappointed all of the Sacramento Kings fans listening to this show. I will be right back here next time for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.